Hello and welcome. It's Kickoff with Jay. It's the Nigerian Classic again. As you know, yesterday night wasn't the best night for we as Nigerian fans. And as Nigeria, we expected to fly in the skies of the biggest continental showpiece in the world. They were hit by the reality of their light feathers. It seems Namumu they qualify for World Cup, courtesy of Super Eagles. Welcome, Demola. Welcome, Mohammed. It's always nice to have you here. Kick off with Jay again. How do you feel being here?
It's nice to be here again, but I'm not really proud as a citizen to be here.
Okay, Mohammed, how are you feeling today?
It's always good to be here, but yesterday night we talk about it.
So let's first start with the performance on the day. First leg wasn't quite good. We weren't able to do some preview and review on that. But again, we expected Nigeria to start like somebody that was looking for something, somebody that was in dire need of this qualification, but seems they were not without hunger that day, yesterday. So what do you feel, Mohammed? Let's start with that.
Well, I think the match yesterday, the capacity, the fans, we should be winning it. Yes, the atmosphere was actually 60,000.
Wow.
That is like a standard for a Premier League, even more than some Premier League games. Yes. And I think it's actually two-sided. Nigerian football is mixed with politics. And to be honest with you, I'm sure Eguavon didn't pick that starting 11. He received calls for some politicians to pick, okay, you have to put this one in, so he has a fault in it though, and the players will have a fault in the performance. But I felt 0-0 away. The work is simple. Beat Ghana. Just win. 60,000 capacity. Abuja. Everybody was rooting for Nigeria. We should have won the game. And based on quality, we have better players than them. Better players.
I guess Nigeria should have even started better. We weren't expecting Ghana to draw the first blood, and that horror show from Uzoe again.
I think Nigeria have failed to replace Victor Nyama because even in the AFCON we concede stupid. I'll put it as stupid goals. Although it's difficult like for goalkeepers, but the kind of goals that we concede are goals that you expect a goalkeeper to be catching. In the AFCON against Tunisia, those kind of balls, Okoye, same thing yesterday. Those kind of things, those little mistakes decide games like this. It's not about having 50 shots. It's just one little moment.
I think for those goalkeepers, like the pressure they have on them, they are not top class goalkeepers. They are not actually big games goalkeepers. Yeah, they are the pressure, the fans, everything was even on them. As you are saying, 60,000 capacity. I think they were not ready for that game. The goalkeepers, the tenacity was not there. They forgot.
So let's talk about the whole performance. The whole Nigeria performance, right there from the midfield. Was it that they were missing the likes of Wilfred Ndidi and the suspended Alex Iwobi? But there was enough guy in the attack when we are talking about.
And I think I will always say it that
Dennis and even Osimhen.
I always say that Nigeria's most important player is Wilfred Ndidi. Because without Wilfred Ndidi, we can't play football. To be honest.
Boss that midfield.
I didn't even really see much from Thomas Partey in that game, to be honest. Because we saw Nigeria, they have come with Ndidi and how we dominated, how Nigeria played like a proper team, building from behind. But yesterday it was more about those long balls. Yes, we have Osimhen, good target man. He has the strength. He can put the ball on his chest and he can run. But sometimes you need to. That build-up play was missing, and we missed Ndidi.
40 passes.
And instead of
you're always looking for Osimhen building up long balls. When they know that that's the tactics you want to use, try to just change the tactics and bring something out of those players. The midfield, I see they started good players for their teams. You had Aribo was there, Etebo was there. Yes, Onyenka. That midfield was meant to be balanced, but the defense and the forward, they were not working with the midfield, to be honest. Even if the ball is in the defense, you are always trying to look for a forward. There are no small build-up in the midfield. They didn't work together as a team.
In short, we missed Ndidi.
Yes, we missed Ndidi.
Okay, Osimhen looked like he's always the danger striker. We know that we have Napoli right there. We know his record right there. He looked overworked yesterday because of those long balls, as you guys mentioned, and we expected a lot of guys and maybe ruthlessness from that that front line because there were enough trickery, enough firepower for us to have that. Ademola Lookman, people like Emmanuel Dennis and Osimhen himself. What really went wrong yesterday? That was the issue.
Another thing I think is that Eguavon was the pressure eating, and that is why he threw in Ademola Lookman and Dennis from the start. And it's fair to say these players are not used to African football. They are just Dennis is just making his. Both of them are just making their first debut starts. So they are not really used to the tenacity of an African football, but they have the quality. So he threw it everything he got. And Osimhen is the kind of player that even if your team is losing, you see the efforts this guy he throws in everything. Sure. Even if he's having a bad game, he's always running. He's always more like Fernandes in United. He might frustrate you, but these players will very passionate. When he misses a chance, you see the passion. He gave it his best, but we have the players. But it was not our day.
Okay, it was not our day as he said it. And let's quickly move to the Eguavon issue. A lot of fans are saying why Sakura even before the AFCON and then leave World Cup qualification. Was it the right choice sacking Uro at the first place? This man led us to the World Cup the last time he was the coach of this Nigerian team. Do you think Eguavon has that tactical brilliance, has that tactical prowess, has everything needed to take this Nigerian team to the destination they want?
I think the management didn't actually have to sack Raw at that particular time. Even if you wanted to let go of a manager, it will be before crucial games. Like how will you sack Raw like days or months before you actually have the AFCON? It was a wrong call at that time, but they didn't actually see far because Eguavon couldn't have the time to actually build a team with. Raw have been building this team for the past 5 years. If you can remember, it took them to the last World Cup. I've been trying to build that team from the last World Cup, trying to grow them into a strong team that will actually challenge. Because he actually has the.
They've not been looking fantastic under Raw.
But I think, but
they've been doing the job.
Normally, if you have a lot of disappointments and challenges, you actually grow up to the next challenge. Because actually losing this game will actually give you more strength or tenacity under a manager. You have high hopes for the next game. You want to actually win. You have this group, like there's this group mentality. The team strength, like it should actually increase with actually losing games and actually trying to be the next team or the next thing that people actually don't want.
Well, actually pick up from what you said. During Raw's time, we didn't play fantastic, or we got the result. So I think football nowadays is not performance based. Football is result based. If you cannot get the result, nobody cares if you put in 35 shots on target. We saw Italy against North Macedonia. So football is results based, and I think politics played into part.
Sure.
Sacking of Ganatra, because I always felt Ganatra is Nigeria's longest serving manager in our history. So I think he did very well, very well. But like you said, we don't appreciate things until it's lost.
I think Ganatra led some cat out of the bag, saying he didn't have a free hand on selections.
Exactly, it is not new.
And also the NFF president was trying to tell him to pick some FPF.
Like I said, they always want someone they can control. Someone they can say, do this, and the person will keep shots. I think that is. But Ganatra, most of the times, if you sack a manager a few weeks before a huge tournament, it doesn't work out like that. I think we've seen it with top nations, Germany and the likes of them, sacking a manager before a tournament. You know, it doesn't work like that. And I think the NFF are one of the reasons why we are not going to the World Cup.
Let's quickly wrap this. So moving on, what's next for Nigeria? What next for Nigeria that has been hit by the reality of them not being good enough to go to a World Cup? So is it the coach should go, or what do you guys think generally?
I think normal Nigeria setting, sack the coach first, blame him for the misfortunes. But I think it's up to the Super Eagles, the NFF, to just actually bring someone. I know they will sack the coach normally, but they should bring someone that will actually try to regroom a new squad. Because I'm not saying that they should let go of the present player, but they should just build a new club from scratch. A lot of teams didn't go to World Cup. You can actually use the World Cup time to get a lot of friendlies, try to build your new squad and try to compete in the next World Cup or next competition.
So
They were it's like they don't want to work for this squad. They just want to let's just play, let's find
At least
Osimhen, let's look for Osimhen, and you are always looking for
combinations. You look for solutions just to find a way to break that Ghana defense line. I think they were so comfortable. What they did in the last 30 minutes was to foul Nigeria as far as possible. That means
away from
their own defense, and they knew they weren't so dangerous with set pieces. You understand? So I think Nigeria needs to learn their lesson.
Sure.
And maybe the coach goes or not, I don't know, because for me, I believe the coach should go. I believe Raw was given enough time. He was getting the results. But it's the Nigerian spirit. We are never satisfied. We always want more. We wanted the Pep Guardiola style of football by using some guys that have not even played. I'm not sure any of them is playing Champions League. So sometimes we ask too much of ourselves, and it's high time we bring the players together, irrespective of any political allegiance or any familiarity with any of the top
personal interests
or
officials. Yes, in the Nigerian Football League, it's time now to bring in players that are hungry enough, that want.
I think even the MPFL players actually,
not that these
they
players
want
don't want, but we don't see the determination,
the hunger.
That hunger.
If you notice those MPFL players, they want to win.
Aside Osimhen and maybe a Kong, that team is derailed of motivation.
Sure.
You understand? So it's high time we look for a manager, a long-serving manager that knows his onions and can propel this team to greater heights. For me, there's enough time. We have a span of 3 years to bring in we have a good squad to say that can challenge for the AFCON in next 2 years, and also the World Cup should be in view. It's high time this team is more goal oriented, and we leave all this rubbish of this political
agenda
on the team. It's not needed. It's not reasonable for the development of Nigerian football, and I think the fans made their statement and their anger known right there in the stadium by destroying facilities. We don't actually support that, but it's just saying the state of the state at which the Nigerian Football Federation is. So any contribution?
I think what they did after the game was actually not necessary. It was one of we have like 3 stadiums in Nigeria that are standard. You don't actually have to get things destroyed for you to make a statement. You can actually do that like in any other way, but not destroying our facilities. This will just give them more opportunity to just use this the distraction of the field to embezzle more money.
So what do you think, Mohammed, before we round up the show?
Well, what happened yesterday, the fans coming in, I think it's the situation of the way the country itself. Nigerians are frustrated, and sports that should be therapeutic, that should at least, a man can be very angry and still go on to watch football, and football gives him the joy. So the anger of the way the nation is, and the anger of losing the game, but that is not the way forward. But hopefully, in the next few years, we'll be able to build a stronger Nigerian squad.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is all we have. I
think
on the show.
We can also post the next one.
Let's say about that. Thank you for joining us on Kickoff with Jay. It's always a lovely time to have you guys here. Please like and subscribe our videos. It's very important for the growth of this channel. Thank you very much.